Some people are afraid of being alone. Others are afraid of disappointing others. And they spend their entire lives trying to be everything to everyone except themselves. Many people never learn to ask, "What do I want?" They only learn to ask, "What do others expect from me?" So they spend their lives adapting, giving in, explaining themselves, trying to live up to expectations. And little by little, they lose their sense of direction. But there is something that few people realize. For many people, pleasing others is not just a behavior. It is a strategy for emotional survival. Perhaps as a child, you learned that being loved depended on not being a burden, not disappointing anyone, not disagreeing, not making mistakes. And without realizing it, you carried that rule into adulthood. So every criticism hurts more than it should. Every conflict feels like a threat. Every sign of disapproval feels like rejection. And that is why saying no can be so difficult. Because for some people, saying no is not simply about disagreeing. It means facing an old fear of not being accepted. And then something quiet begins to happen. You start saying yes when you want to say no. You accept things you do not want. You take responsibility for things that are not yours. You tolerate situations that hurt you. And you keep collecting small sacrifices. Until one day, you realize that you are living a life built around pleasing other people while growing further away from who you truly are. Because people who spend their lives trying not to disappoint anyone usually end up disappointing themselves.
Book reflection? In The Gifts of Imperfection, Brené Brown reminds us that true belonging does not happen when we change ourselves to be accepted. It happens when we have the courage to be seen as we truly are. And that requires vulnerability. Because being authentic means risking the possibility of not pleasing everyone. Film for reflection? Wonder shows us something beautiful. The desire to be accepted is deeply human. But true transformation happens when we stop measuring our worth solely through the eyes of others. Today's emotional practice? Take a piece of paper and answer. Which decisions in my life were made to please someone else? When was the last time I chose something simply because it felt right for me? What would I do today if I wasn't afraid of disappointing anyone? Don't try to answer the right way. Answer honestly. You were not born to become someone else's expectation. You were born to be yourself. But for some people, being themselves was something they were never taught how to do. Perhaps emotional freedom is not about doing whatever we want. Perhaps it is about stopping the habit of living only according to what others expect from us. And perhaps the first step back to yourself is realizing that you do not need to earn love through sacrifice. If this video resonated with you, subscribe to Ties That Hurt. Here, we talk about relationships, self-worth, emotional education, and the courage to build a life that reflects who you truly are. Tell me in the comments, when was the last time you chose something simply because it felt right for you? And share this video with someone who carries the weight of trying to please everyone.